had a slight little relapse there. Anyway, she gave me 50 cents to go get a pound of hamburger meat for spaghetti that day. And when I went to the store, the butcher got me the pound of meat, and it was something like 30 cents that time. And I said, that'll be 30 cents. And I said, and he asked for the money. I said, I gave it to you. I had a 50-cent piece. He said, no, you didn't. I said, well, I did too. I was holding it. So he looked around the counter, and I'm looking through my pockets, and I didn't find it. So I said, I gave it to you. So anyway, the butcher gave me 20 cents change. He said, okay, thank you. So I'm headed back for the house. It was like a mile away from the house to the grocery store. We lived in the west end of Ashtabula. So on the way home, I happened to put my hand in my pocket, and there was a 50-cent piece. Now I have 50 cents, pound of hamburger meat, and 20 cents change. I'm going to tell you what, if you ever hear about one angel on this side and the devil on this side, that happened for real to me. I'm thinking, well, what did I do? Then I remembered the story my mother told me about the garlic. Well, that did it. Turned around, went back to the grocery store. And I was halfway home, too. Walked in, told the grocer came over, is something wrong? I said, yeah, I found that 50 cents. So I gave it to him. He stared at me for a while, and then he said, you want some candy? There's candy over there. I said, I can't spend any money. He said, no, you don't have to pick whatever you want. So I picked a candy bar. I said, this, you mean this? He said, yeah. I thought, my mother was 100% right. Do a lot of good things. Good things come back to you. So then I went on home and told my mother the story. She was having a hard time believing me, but she did. So getting back to her religion, she used to go to one mass early in the morning all the time, and then she let us kids pick our whatever mass we wanted to go to. But then we come to catechism. I don't know if you know this or not, but the nuns, and now we're talking about a long time ago, the nuns in those days were worse than the Gestapo. I mean, they were disciplinaries that I would hire for any prison. They used a 3-corner ruler. I don't know if you know what that is, but 3-corner ruler draws blood. But we were a wild bunch, all these Italian kids and you had to go after school. I mean, it wasn't like it was part of your learning period. Only the Catholics had to go to catechism. And all the other guys, the Protestants, and we called them Munjagiks. Anyway, they were all after school out playing, and we had to go to catechism. But I sure learned all the prayers I was supposed to learn. And I learned a lot about saints. Catholics have more saints than most of you people with a different religion have people in heaven. Because we got the saints covered. We have a saint for anything that can possibly go wrong. And my mother believed in every single one. And talk about following certain rituals. If we were eating bread and we dropped a piece and went on the floor and we're going to throw it away, she says, pukad, which means bad. So we had to kiss the bread and then throw it away. And but the woman believed so strongly that she actually could will things to happen. If we were flat broke, didn't have any money at all, and she needed some money to pay, say, the light bill, and the light bill was $7.20. She would go play bingo early evening, and we'd ask her if she was going to bingo. Yes. She says, we need $7.20. So she'd go play bingo. Guess what she came home with? What else? $7.20. So I think there was something spiritual there that we never knew about, because this woman used primarily all the remedies that go back hundreds of years for any illness. She was a better doctor than we have, specialists. She had a remedy for anything and everything. And she was a midwife. She brought in, I would say, maybe 300-400 kids into the Ashtabula population. All Italians, of course. I'm going to talk a little bit about my mother getting along with some of the other people who were not Catholics. And we lived, there was railroad tracks, and most of the blacks were real close to the railroad tracks. And then the Italians were just next to the blacks. And uptown was on the other side of the blacks. So we used to go to the black section of town, and they were all our friends. I mean, we were so tight. Well, we played football, we played all kinds of games, and we knew I spent many a night in a black family's home, because the kids were friends of mine, and they would ask their mother if I could stay the night. And they spent a lot of time in our house. So there was no color in vision at all. We kid around with each other, of course, but hell, we were darker than most of them because of our Italian skin and the sun. But the nicest person you could have is a black friend who was a nice friend. They did more favors for us than you did. Well, they used to bring food over to the house. That's a switch, right? But I don't want to get into that now. I intend to tell you a little bit more about my childhood, but I'm going to do that a little bit later. See you later.